In today's big story, the United States has experienced 2 deadly synagogue attacks within months of each other. In the last 5 years, the number of attacks on places of worship has multiplied. Now, experts are warning that America's houses of worship are vulnerable to deadly attacks by extremists. And as Sarah Sidner reports, there's our urgent security concerns.
The synagogue's always a safe place to be. We're not supposed to be worried about anything. It's bruised up.
But Noya Dahan will always worry now. She was a victim in a deadly attack at her California synagogue. Her father, who witnessed the attack, wanted to send this message to the president.
I know Donald Trump is supporting Israel, but there is more problem in the U.S. than anywhere in the world. Instead of looking for a problem outside of the country, it's better to look inside the country.
Over the past 7 years, deadly attacks by mass shooters on places of worship have been a reoccurring nightmare in the U.S. In 2012, 6 people are gunned down at a Sikh temple in Wisconsin. That same year, a prayer leader is killed at a church in College Park, Georgia. In 2015, 9 worshipers are slaughtered at a predominantly black church in Charleston. In 2017, 26 killed in Sutherland Springs, Texas. And in Antioch, Tennessee, another person is gunned down at church. In 2018, 11 are murdered in the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. 6 months later, 1 person is killed at a synagogue in Poway, California. Police say 4 of the attacks were perpetrated by men with white supremacist or neo-Nazi ideals, targeting their victims because of their skin color or religion. This pattern of deadly extremism is forcing religious leaders like Poway's Rabbi Goldstein to confront their new reality.
After the Pittsburgh event, the Poway Sheriff Department hosted an active shooting workshop, which we attended.
In his synagogue, everyone but 1 congregant survived the shooting. He was injured. But he said if it wasn't for the shooter's gun jamming, a congregant who charged him, and an armed off-duty Border Patrol agent who fired at the suspect, it could have been a bloodbath.
If we would have had an armed security guard at the door, there's a very good chance the shooter would have been neutralized. Why didn't we? The answer is simple.
You couldn't afford security.
There's no budget for it.
After that shooting, California's governor pledged $15 million in grants to help religious and community-based nonprofits to strengthen security.
Total of 8 downs, 1 rescued at this time.
After the deadliest anti-Semitic attack in U.S. history, Pennsylvania's governor is working with the legislature to increase funding for security from more than $3.6 million in grants the state secured from DHS since 2014 for Jewish groups. In 2019, the federal government set aside $60 million in security grants for nonprofit organizations, but they must be able to demonstrate they're at high risk of a terror attack.
I cried so hard that day. I cried so hard.
Carly Pildes writes for Tablet Magazine, which concentrates on Jewish news and culture.
You know, I feel a sense of loss for what it used to be like for Jews here.
As hate crimes rise, the sense of safety is being stripped away.
Anti-Semitism is a real threat. It is a threat to you, even if you're not Jewish. Anti-Semitism has a history of breaking democracies.
Pildes and experts who track anti-Semitism say we probably have not reached the pinnacle of the hatred yet.
Sidner reporting. Now, according to the Anti-Defamation League, white supremacist murders in the U.S. more than doubled in the 2017. The group also reports that far-right extremists are either responsible for or suspected of most of the ideological killings in America in the last 10 years. Intelligence and law enforcement officials say that they're working to keep up with all threats, but they do not single out white supremacism. Instead, they say that they're focusing on domestic terror as a whole.